I didn't think any of these were secrets, but you're clearly here for a reason. So I'm gonna tell you all the things you need to know.
Back it up, I put on the show, I be acting up. If he ain't got no bread, I'm packing up. I need a rich nigga with a bankroll just so I can add it up. Say ho, my nigga got him an a-hole. He gon' listen and do what I say so. He know I'm only after the...
Hi, I'm Tassie and welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome home. And if you're a new subscriber, make yourself at home by clicking that subscribe button. Today, we are back on the topic of wigs. That seems to be a favorite on my channel, and that seems to be what you guys always want me to talk about. And I wasn't going to do it for a while because I have yet to buy like a new wig. You guys have pretty much seen every single wig that I own since I started this channel. But I want to say like sometime around last week, technically like low-key a few days ago, I was a part of this thread that had went viral. Basically, everyone was talking about how synthetic wigs are coming up. They're starting to be more innovative. They're starting to give what the girls have been looking for this whole entire time, but for an affordable price. And of course, I chimed in before the post even went viral. And I just chimed in and basically mentioned all the brands that I personally trusted, that I have actually reviewed on this channel, and that I feel have given me, you know, the things that I've been looking for as far as what I expect out of a hairstyle. Now, I wouldn't say that I went viral, but baby girl definitely did some numbers. I see the interactions. I see all of that. I've had people say that they bookmarked exactly what I said. And I even started chatting with some girls on that thread, and they left their recommendations. They left their website links. I had so many people asking me and those other girls questions, and I said as much as I possibly could say in that thread, but I just decided to make a video about it just so everyone can get that knowledge. And for those that were on this thread, if you find this video, hi. This is also for you guys, just in case I wasn't very clear about some of my directions, and I just really hope that this video helps y'all out. But before we get into the video, I just want to address something really quick. So after that particular thread had went somewhat viral and people started talking, I noticed that there were a few tweets and a few little co-signers of certain tweets that were kind of taking jabs at that thread, including some of the girls that were a part of it. And the only reason why this was brought to my attention in the first place was because somebody trying to be shady towards me retweeted it onto my timeline. We're not going to address this. We're not going to pay that person any attention. That person is dust. So we're not going to talk about it, and I'm not going to elaborate on it, and I'm not even going to specify how I know it was shade. Just trust me when I say I know. So when I seen that particular tweet taking jabs at people that wore synthetic wigs or just taking jabs at the thread in general, my first initial thought, I didn't think twice about it, because at the end of the day, like I said, I've shown y'all almost every single wig that I own, and that's probably like what, four or five wigs that I have, and they're all synthetic. But me being the person that I am somebody who has been raised around cosmetology my whole entire life. My mom is a licensed cosmetologist. She has done pretty much everything. I used to visit her when she was in hair school. I used to sometimes sit with her during hair school. You know, those little hair shows where people used to make the hair into a helicopter and it would spin and stuff like that. Yeah, I used to go to those since I was an itty bitty kid. Bronner Brothers hair shows, all of that. Been there, done that. I've been around makeup, I've been around nails, like literally the world of cosmetology, I have been around it 24/7, and with my mom being a licensed cosmetologist, I've had my fair share of getting my hair done in every single style that you can think of, including my natural hair. Speaking of natural hair, this is all me. This is all mine, okay? Even the parts of my hair that are low-key damaged because I got bored one day and gave myself a silk press. Nonetheless, this is all me. So when I first seen the tweet, I didn't take it too much to heart, even though I knew it was shade towards me, because sweetie, I get my hair done, whether it's human hair, synthetic hair, braids, twist, whatever. And despite all of those things, sweetie, your girl got inches. And that's something that even the most ballin' bitch can't buy. But the reason why I felt like addressing it was because when I was a part of that thread and I talked to some of these women and I talked to some of these people that were looking for advice, looking for places to go as far as like where to buy these wigs, what to do with them, etc., etc., I came across so many different walks of life. I came across so many women that came from so many different issues, whether it was surviving cancer, still going through the process of chemo, people that had alopecia, people that didn't get the benefits that I got from growing up around cosmetology, and they literally are adults and have no idea what to do with their hair and no idea where to look. I seen these women, and I have to say, like, even though I didn't see their faces and I didn't like hear their voices, I felt their happiness. I felt their warmth. I felt them be excited, you know? I felt that aha moment through the screen. The fact that not only me, but multiple women in that thread gave that advice to these other women that desperately needed it, I felt good about that. I felt really, really accomplished, and I felt like, wow, I feel your happiness and your confidence through the screen. Like, that means a lot. And the fact that I was a part of that, oh my goodness, I love that for you. I'm so thankful that I was able to do that for some of y'all. So the reason why I had to say something was behalf of them. Because you can't say nothing about me, okay? I done had my fair share of having some hairstyles that probably weren't the best, that I probably didn't like. I even spent like majority of my high school years wearing synthetic hair because your girl was not cheesed up to where I was getting all of this, you know, imported from China, getting it off of AliExpress, etc., etc. Now, I feel my own personal ways about AliExpress, but we not gonna talk about that right now. But either way. But like I said, I don't know how many hairstyles in my head, and I was one of those girls where I was blessed with the fact that I could get my hair done every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. I was blessed to be able to say that I knew the difference between synthetic and human hair and where to get the best quality for each and every individual. Everyone did not have that experience, and everyone doesn't know how to do that. But I did. I got that privilege. So I'm not going to take any of that to heart. I'm not going to take any of that as a jab, because even if it was a jab and even if it was shade towards me, sweetie, you're not even on my level to where I could have took that in the first place. And that's just facts. I don't care how cocky that sounds. That's the truth. It's facts. You ain't gonna never touch me. But like I said, everyone doesn't get that opportunity, and everybody didn't get that grace growing up. So the fact that I felt these women be so confident through a screen, the fact that I felt their happiness through a screen, through a tweet, I could just imagine what they felt like after they had this whole moment, this whole 24 hours where they felt so happy, accomplished, and confident and excited about buying their first synthetic wig, and then to turn around and possibly see a tweet like that. It broke my heart. It broke my heart. It did. Because that just no. And the reason why I felt some type of way too, which I know people are going to laugh at when I say this, but the simple fact of the matter is, this is the month of February. We are in Black History Month. Do you know how hard it is as a Black woman to deal with your hair? Being a Black woman, our hair is consistently criticized. They don't want us to wear hair weave, but at the same time, if you do decide to rock your natural curls, you need to have a specific type of natural curl, or else everything else is nappy, ugly. Even if you have shrinkage and they don't know what shrinkage is, you're bald-headed. Even if you do decide to chop off all your hair because you want to, you're bald-headed. That is like the first thing people say when they talk about Black women. They always make fun of our hair. And if they can't make fun of our hair, they start to go for our bodies. And if they can't make fun of our bodies, they start to go for our skin color. But the first thing that they always try to do when they speak on Black women is come for our hair. We've come such a long way as far as finding products for our hair. Once upon a time, we thought it was normal to put those chemicals in our hair that basically were giving us cancer slowly. And we have come such a long way as Black women in cosmetology. So far that wearing a synthetic wig or packed hair isn't really that big of a taboo or that big of a problem anymore. Because not only do we know how to take care of our natural hair now, but we also know how to take care of those types of hair now so that they can last, and we can get everything that we paid for out of these products now, because we know better than we did in the past, better than some people's mamas knew back then. Literally back in the slavery days, we had to cover our heads. We were forced to cover our heads because they believed that our hair was somehow taboo, demonic, or had some type of voodoo in it, and that's why the slave masters and the other people were so attracted to us. They couldn't even fathom the fact that Black women were just beautiful women. Our hair has been policed since the dawn of time, and we have progressed since then. So for you to take a jab at fellow Black women over their hair because they're looking for resources that are within their budget, how dare you? That is so tone deaf. That is so tone deaf. For us to be in the middle of Black History Month and you do something like that, that is disgusting. We all have our preferences, and I 100% understand if you are way more comfortable with paying a certain amount of money so that you can have hair that lasts longer. Because listen, quality is quality, period, point blank. Maybe you're the type of person where you wear wigs more frequently and you want them to have longevity, so you're willing to pay that much money so that you can have the natural human hair that'll last you about 5+ years. That is perfectly fine. I know for me personally, I'm definitely starting to get more into wigs and like being able to find wigs that, you know, look nice, that have a certain amount of longevity, etc., etc. I just now started getting into wigs. Like, no joke, I literally just started getting into wigs last year. But listen, quality is quality, okay? And in my personal opinion, a synthetic wig isn't supposed to look like it was done by Arrogant Tay, because Arrogant Tay is Arrogant Tay. The hair that he uses, or the hair that he requires, that's the hair that he requires. That doesn't mean that every single synthetic wig looks a mess. That doesn't mean that every single synthetic wig has to look like it's synthetic. But at the end of the day, maybe I don't look like a More Jada. Maybe I don't look like the real Kyle sister. Maybe I don't look like Alexis Sky. Maybe I don't look like these people. But I'm still a bad bitch, period. And so is everybody else that decides to wear synthetic wigs. Synthetic wigs are an option, okay? If you were someone like me where you change your hair up a lot, synthetic wigs are perfect, because who's about to spend $200, $300 and you know you only gonna wear that hair probably 2 weeks and then throw it out? You ain't gonna never touch that blonde hair again. You ain't gonna never do nothing with that again. Now, given you can always use it, you can always reuse it. That's the whole premise of like buying human hair. But like I said, as a preference, maybe you're not like that and you're more like me where it's just like, Chad, I'm only gonna wear this for some pictures and to go to work. Or you might even be one of those people where you want to save your money so that you can afford to get the Slade baby hairs and scalp wear type of wigs. You know what I'm saying? And that is perfectly fine too, which is another reason why people invest in synthetic wigs. It is all about preference, and preferences are perfectly fine. So if you, sweetheart, prefer to spend up to $500 plus so that you can get your hair done while simultaneously living with your mama and chasing after a man who's your man in your head but never your man in real life. Speaking of which, happy belated Valentine's Day. Did he get you anything? Not even the human bundles? Oh, okay. If that's what you prefer to do, that is what you prefer to do, and can't nobody knock you for that. But what I do not appreciate still to this day, and I stand on this forever and always, do not try to throw jabs at anybody and knock anybody else down, but then when it's done to you, you have a problem with it. Don't do that, because we could call you out on a lot. Your human hair wigs is not matching an apartment. Your human hair wigs is not matching the car that you're paying a car note on. So don't try to come and judge everybody else because you feel some type of way and you have a personal preference. Stand in your preference. Stand in your truth. Stay in your lane, but do not disrespect people because you feel some type of way about yourself, okay? And then not only that, this can't be the same amount of people that be sitting up here arguing with their local hairstylists about their prices and why they hairstylists can't work with the bundles that they ordered from Amazon. This can't be the same people. I will gladly purchase a $30 wig that's clearly synthetic before I ever disrespect somebody's time, energy, and talent because I feel like hairstylists are magicians. I would much rather pay for a synthetic wig before I ever do something like that. The best thing you could have done if you really did feel like your preferences were above synthetic wigs, because like I said, you're allowed to do that, you're allowed to feel that. Quality is quality, period, point blank. But if you truly felt like you personally feel like women should invest time, money, and everything else into their hair because their hair is more important than anything else, the least you could have done was come on that thread and say, hey guys, here's some inexpensive choices for human hair wigs or authentic lace fronts that don't break the bank. It could have all been that simple. Because we weren't even just talking about synthetic wigs. We were talking about like hair care in general. You could have came on there and said your piece. You could have came on there and said, hey, if you guys are looking for human hair wigs, here's some options. Here's the links and da-da-da-da. But you decided to take jabs. And that's the only reason why I'm addressing it. You wanted to take jabs because you thought it was funny. You wanted to take jabs because you thought, ooh, let me get the girls with this one. And that's just what we're not going to do. We are not going to do that. Like I said, I don't care what you say to me because you can't touch me on anything that I do. But I'm speaking for those that are too afraid to speak for themselves or probably came across tweets like that and felt some type of way in their chest. Because I understand that everybody is not as strong as me. And like I said, everybody didn't get the blessing of growing up around cosmetology like I did. So on behalf of those girls, I will speak up and I will say, stay in your lane. Because this ain't got nothing to do with you. So for those girls, I'm willing to speak up and say something about it. Because that was very distasteful. So you go be great with your bundles, sweetie. You go be great with your bundles. You go argue with them hairstylists. You go chase after that man that don't want you and you still don't get it. You go and pay that car note for a car that really wasn't worth it. You go ahead and clean that kitchen before your mama whoop you, okay? You go ahead and do that. And that ain't even no shade because I still live with my mama. I still live with my parents, okay? I'm still saving up. But all I'm saying is don't point the finger at other people and then get mad when the finger gets pointed at you. I didn't even mean to like talk about that for that long, but like I just don't like when people think that they big bullies, but then when you say something back, they get offended. Like, don't do that to people. Don't do that to people. So I'm off of this now. I'm off. I'm done. I'm done. But to my fellow sisters that were on that Twitter thread, know that I love you. I am here for you. I am here to support you. You are beautiful. You are welcomed. And welcome to my channel. Now with that being said, let's get into the video. So one of the main key components to maintaining a synthetic wig is that you definitely want a synthetic wig that is actual quality. I know a lot of people are going to sit there and be confused because we have this notion that synthetic hair isn't quality. But if we're being honest, remember back in the days when people used to get quick weaves and sew-ins with the hair that came in a pack? I'm going to tell you right now, that was not human hair. That was some type of synthetic blend. Yeah. That wasn't human hair, honey. That wasn't just a lower quality of human hair. Human hair is human hair, period. That was just as much synthetic as the synthetic wigs that we're about to talk about. Just as much. They were just another quality of synthetic, but they were very much synthetic bundles. Those, as a matter of fact, were actually synthetic blends. Now, me personally, those are the ones that I tend to go for because those are the ones that I feel like replicate human hair a little bit better and they actually maintain really, really well. Now, as I said in the tweet, the ones that I have tried have been Sensational, Outer, and even Bobby Boss. Now, with Bobby Boss, I heard some mixed reviews, and I will say that with Bobby, that one is like the lowest amount of quality compared to the others, because for me, Bobby will last about probably 3 months. But like I told y'all earlier, I don't really, wear wigs all like that, and when I get a hairstyle, I'm pretty much done with it later on very, very quick. But other than that, it is good quality in my book. You just got to know what you're doing with it. The second tip that I can give you for maintaining a synthetic wig, your brush is your best friend. It is very important that you don't let synthetic hair get super duper tangled. And if it does, you better brush it out the best way possible. Because trust me, it will get tangled. Like I said, it's synthetic hair. It's not supposed to be human hair. But if it's one of those hairs where it gets tangled the moment that you lay it down or you touch it a certain way or you get around too much air, that is trash quality. You don't want that. But either way, your brush is your best friend. Keep it on you 24/7. Okay? Okay. My third tip, you want to keep the styling to a minimum. Now, that's not saying that you can't style them because like I said, they do have some longevity to them if you get the right hair. But nonetheless, it is not human hair. I repeat, it is not human hair. And in all honesty, the whole premise of a synthetic wig, it's supposed to be minimal style. That's why they come colored. That's why they come curled. That's why they come with like bangs and all this other stuff. Because it's supposed to just be the hairstyle that it is right then and there. But if you do decide that you want to switch it up, you are 100% allowed to do that. But once again, it is not human hair. So you can't treat it like human hair. You can't. If you want to do curls, you are free to do curls. And believe it or not, you can use heat, but you can't use an extreme amount. I want to say probably up to 330 degrees is the highest you can go, but I might even say lower than that. But you can apply heat and you can curl them with heat. But if you want the curls to stay, you have to curl them with heat, roll them up, and then just leave it there for like a whole day. Because I'm telling you, those curls will fall, honey. Those curls will fall. But I will say this, if you apply heat, that's going to take away the life of the hair. So once again, if you want longevity out of these wigs, it's best if you use water, hot water, very, very hot water, and perm rods. That is the best way to curl your hair, style it in a curly fashion, and still keep it, you know, together for a long, long time. And if you want to straighten it, you can straighten it. And with certain hair, you gotta flat iron it in order for it to be straight. But I'm telling you, the moment you flat iron it, it's pretty much over. But I just wanted to tell you, you are free to style it if you want to. Just be careful. Another tip I have, don't use too much product. Do not use too much product. That will make the hair matted up. I would say if you use any type of product, the most that you should be doing is mousse. The most. Mousse will help the hair lay down. Mousse will help your curls pop. But even with that, you want to be very careful with it. Don't use too much of it because, sweetie, it'll just create a mess. But like I said, if you want a long, long lasting amount of time out of these wigs, you gotta be careful with the products that you put in that hair. Now, my next tip is very important. You can wash the wigs. You can wash the hair. It is 100% okay to wash the hair. But, once again, it is not human hair. It does not need to be washed as frequently as you would do human hair. If you do wash it, I would say wash it probably, every 6 months. Wash it if you feel like it has a smell to it, okay? If you must, you can wash it if you feel like it stinks. But I'm telling you, it is best to never really put too much action into this hair. Don't wash it too much. Don't drench it in conditioner too much. Like, just let it do its own thing, and I promise you it'll last you a very long time. And whenever you do wash it, use extremely hot water, and when you dry it, let it air dry. Hang it up somewhere and let it dry. Just don't touch it. Just leave it there. Leave it alone. Let it do its thing. It's not that hard. Another tip I have, if you are worried about your hair sliding back or leaning to the side or anything in between, clips, bands, lace glue, even a little bit of got-to-be glue. That should help keep it in place. Now, majority of the wigs that I bought, they come in with the comb clips, the comb attachments. And the wig that I did my last review on, like a super duper long time ago, it came with this kind of like band to it. It was like a plasticky, but yet it was adhesive type of band, and it came with clips. That one did not budge at all. Like, I'm talking about, it did not move. You can watch the video yourself. It did not move. But there are multiple different ways where you can keep this hair in place. I feel like if you just smack the wig on, then like, yeah, it probably is gonna fly away if the wind blows a little too hard. But in the same breath, I don't see it being that dramatic. I don't see it being a drastic need to be like, oh my goodness, I'm worried about it. Like, any wig that you buy should have at least the comb attachments. If it doesn't have the comb attachments, there are other methods to laying it down and keeping it together. And if you want to add a little bit of lace glue, that way it can like be more flat on your head and fit your head shape, then that's perfectly fine too. But overall, the wig should do all the work. If you're buying a good wig, the wig should be doing all the work. But just in case it doesn't, just a few recommendations. My next tip, when you are done with this wig for the day or just permanently, what I like to do is I like to hang my wigs up either on my little hooks that I have in my room or like my little clothing rods. Brush them from time to time, but for the most part I just leave them there. In the thread on Twitter, I saw a lot of people say that they put their wigs in like a plastic bag, put it in a hairnet, put it in a plastic bag, and then they just leave it alone. That is also an option too. When I was in high school and I used to get sew-ins with synthetic hair, just in case any of you possibly have like a sew-in or something like that, I could sleep in mine. I was 100% able to sleep in mine. All I did was just like either twist it up or braid it up, wore my bonnet, and then I went to sleep. Wake up the next morning, untwist it, and then just brush it out, and everything would still be in place. The hair would still be curly, the hair would still be straight, the hair would still be whatever it needed to be. Never really had any problems. But like I said, The key to keeping these wigs together is just letting it do its own thing. Do what it's supposed to do and just leave it alone. And lastly, what do you do if by chance your hair does start to get a little raggedy? It does start to get a little, you know, synthetic-y. It starts showing its true colors. When it gets old, don't be afraid to cut it. If you really want to use it until it's on its last leg, you can cut it into a bob if you want to. You can cut it into a nice little style if you want to. Or you can take the time to actually revive the wig. Now, how do you do that, you might ask? Lucky for you, I made a video on that a long time ago. And she's still here, for those that were wondering. She is still very much here. Very much still moving. Very much still straight, silky, you know? No tangles, no nothing. So go check out that video if you want to know how to revive a super duper dead wig. And for those of you that are curious about this wig in particular, I got this wig from Sam's Beauty. SamsBeauty.com is where I got majority of my wigs. No, this is not sponsored because this is like probably the 5th video that I've done mentioning them. It is not sponsored, but majority of my wigs that I have bought since I started on my wig journey, it has been from Sam's Beauty. They also have human hair options, but I've always gotten the synthetics and the synthetic blends. This particular wig is one from Sensational. Now, according to the website, I think this wig is completely sold out. It is no longer with us. But in case you might be able to find it elsewhere, this is called, and I'm just reading it off of what the website says, Sensational Human Hair Blended Lace Front Wig, Fringe Frame 4x4 Swiss Silk Based Lace, Cloud 9 Terry. Terry is the name of this wig. And I got this wig in the color 1B, but the photo example that they're 9 times out of 10 gonna use, the girl is wearing blonde hair. But yeah, just for reference, this is the same exact wig that I did in this video. This is actually the first wig that I bought. The very first wig that I bought. I bought this girl back in the summer of 2019. So this is now the 3rd year Terry has been with us. And she looks very cute, doesn't she? She looks very together. She don't look like everything that I've been through, thank God, because I've been through a lot. But ultimately, if your wig does not survive as long as Terry has survived, do not hesitate to let it go either. Because like I said, they're not meant to last super duper long because they're not human hair wigs. They are synthetic. There is going to come a time where you're going to have to let it go. There is going to come a time where you're going to have to be like, okay, I spent my money. I got my money's worth out of it. Goodbye. I actually just recently got rid of one of my wigs. And I think that one was probably like 1.5 years, 2 years old. I gave that wig probably like 3 different hairstyles. It did what it was supposed to do. But like I said, put too much heat on it, it's not gonna last as long. Put too much product on it, not gonna last as long. Girl, I crimped that hair, I straightened that hair, I put freeze spray on the hair, like I did everything with that hair. It served its purpose and I departed with it a long time ago. If it ain't broke, don't need to fix it. But if it breaks, don't be afraid to throw it away. So those are all the tips that I have. If you have any other tips, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I really hope whatever journey you're going on that this video helped you in the process. Like I said, one of the only sites that I have used so far and the only site that I have trusted is samsbeauty.com. But feel free to leave any other links in the comments below. I might check them out. Might do another wig review. Who knows? So if you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. If you like this video, don't forget to like this video and share if you can. So with that being said, thank you for watching and I will see you next time.